Hello and welcome to On Point. I'm Climesha McDaniel. Today we're going to be talking about women's perceptions of beauty and how the media helps shape that perception. Joining us today is clinical psychologist Jacqueline Williams. Jacqueline has a practice in Woodland Hills. Also pageant mom Rita Alaman. Rita runs her own pageant agency and she is a former beauty contestant. And last, we have plastic surgeon Dr. Ivan Thomas. Some of Dr. Thomas's patients include Hollywood entertainers, notable sports stars, and the average man or woman. Well, first I'd like to start off by saying that beauty, it comes from within, and at least in my view. But no one is born perfect, and there's no such thing as perfection. Many of us do have flaws, but for some reason, women are still unhappy with the way that they look. When you go to the grocery stores and you look at the checkout stands and you see these magazines, a lot of these women are covered in faces full of makeup, and they're not natural. They don't wake up looking like this, and a lot of those covers are photoshopped. Dr. Thomas, why do you think people have an obsession with cosmetic surgery?
Well, I think the media has pushed this concept of beauty, and it's been very effective. If you go back many years, beauty was totally different. In the old days, for instance, if you look at some old Persian poetry, a beautiful woman was somebody who had a round face and a small chin and very thick eyebrows. Actually, the eyebrows were joined in the center. If you had just a one-piece eyebrow, you were considered to be a beautiful woman. Now, having that kind of a look today is not going to do it at all. So I think the media has changed the concept of beauty over time, and now beauty means whatever they show on a cover of a magazine.
And what do you think about that, Rita?
Definitely, the media has played an enormous part in pushing our beauty to the slim, attractive, the makeup, the clothing. Unfortunately, that's what we see every day. That's what our children see. That's what we see on TV, we see in the magazines. And now it's pushing it so much into the schools. The kids are very conscious of what they wear and how they look. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and she is very particular about her hair being just right and her clothes fitting just right and her size. Although she is a pretty small young lady, she's very cautious at 14 years old at the way she moves and the way she looks at herself.
And you, Jacqueline?
Well, I totally agree with what has already been said. The media definitely plays a huge role in the way, say, young people as well as middle-aged people define themselves. We have some young girls as early as, say 15, 16 years old who may have some form of plastic surgery performed, either reshaping the nose, any form of cosmetic surgery associated with their face. So the media definitely plays a huge role because they want to look like they're the people that they admire, the entertainers, the singers, their favorite singer. So they want to look like these people, and parents quite often will help to finance this wish, especially Sweet 16 birthday party in today's environment is having some form of surgery versus years ago it was just a Sweet 16 birthday party that was a huge celebration.
Now, you're a successful plastic surgeon, Dr. Thomas, and you're working in a city what most people would say is beauty obsessed. What do women come to you looking for?
Well, when I first started practice almost 30 years ago, most of my patients were coming in to change something that they thought it was wrong with their face, and most likely it was probably the nose. So I did a lot of rhinoplasties at that time. Now, it's probably the 4th or the 5th most requested operation in my practice. Right now, the most requested operation in my practice is breast enlargement. And I agree with you. I see very, very young girls come in. I even see late high school children come in. And apparently their parents approve, otherwise they can't do it. And they come in for breast enlargement. So it's gone from the face and the nose to the breast and the body.
And what is it about beauty and the concept of creating a desired look that drew you to your profession?
I've always had an eye for beauty, as they say. I can appreciate what's considered to be beautiful, but then the big question is, what is beautiful? I have my standards going by what's beautiful today, just like we discussed, the model on a beauty magazine. I think that face is what is requested today, so I have to keep that in mind and try to change faces as possible to make them look like a model.
And let's talk about the media's role. The media tries to make people look better and be happier by creating certain ads and gaining profit from this. But it's unrealistic standards that they're putting out there. I think that women get to think about their looks differently when they see these images in the media. So let's look at part of what Dub's recent beauty campaign that they put out. We're going to take a look at that. Now, after viewing that commercial, that was a real ad campaign that was put out there, as you can see on the billboard. What are your thoughts, Jacqueline?
Well, my thoughts, especially looking at the last wording, low self-esteem is usually associated with females and even males in today's environment are also seeking out, plastic surgery. But a great deal of it is due to low self-esteem and their perception. Sometimes they may have a little flaw, but usually their perception or their perceived perception of their defects are so exaggerated because they look in the mirror, then they look at the ad, or they look at their favorite person, and they are not seeing in the mirror what they see in the magazine. So therefore, they become very, very preoccupied with the flaws that they see, and the flaws become more exaggerated the more they look at themselves and compare themselves to the magazines.
What do you think about that commercial, Rita?
Well, what really caught my eye on that particular piece is the fact that the photo enhancement, the fact that we can take a camera and a click of a computer and make your eyes wider, make your nose a little thinner, make your chin a little bit more indented if so desire, your lips just a little bit wider. And being in the pageant industry, I have encountered that because there are parts of our pageant system where you have to submit a photo. A lot of times the photos are definitely enhanced, and that is to make the skin a little bit smoother, maybe the eyes a little bit wider, a little bit bluer, green or brown or whatever the color so desired, maybe the hair a little bit fuller. And unfortunately, that's what sells. It's just like, the media, it sells, and that's exactly what, as long as we keep accepting it, they're going to keep giving it to us.